All right, so when we look at functional training, when we look at creating power, especially look at a lot of functional training programs, a lot of them are looking at doing Olympic lifts. They're doing it snatches, cleans, jerks. But a lot of times we have, those are kind of these sagittal movements. They just kind of move up and down. Being able to create some multi-planar, multi-directional power, especially for basically just general health, right? Like life doesn't happen in one plane of motion. It doesn't always just happen up and down or forward, backward. It happens side to side as well. So especially if you're trying to create some health and just the ability to create power, being able to get into some of these ranges of motion and really some less complex movements that are going to help you develop some skills. Being able to understand and using simple tools like a bar shoved into a corner with a landmine setup, probably one of the more versatile things you can do. Doesn't require as much technique, but being able to create power through one of those. So a very simple, just basically landmine punch or push press that we can do. All you've got is just this bar shoved in the corner, but being able to kind of stagger your stance here, and all I'm gonna do is just put some pressure in the ball of my foot and just push my hips and use my hips. I'm gonna drive and push up, all right? So all I'm doing is loading that hip, have this hand push, and I can create some of that power from my hip and move through, okay? If we want to create a little bit more complexity in that movement, we can then just start from the side, same thing, create rotation through the hip, and push. Bring it back in, push. When we start looking at some of those movements, what we're also looking at is coming from this moment where, one, I'm kind of compressed on this one side, so I've got this shortened oblique and this longer oblique. The same thing here, that I can come from a more compressed side, rotate through, and punch, create a little bit of a longer oblique. We're accessing some overhead power, we're accessing some rotational power, we're increasing and really utilizing the function of the core, because if I compress and I move this way, my other oblique has to shorten a little bit. So we're creating this moment where we're transferring power from one side to the other. We're using those muscles to be able to control and stabilize the rotation to create some power, create some strength, and then create a more functional and well-moving body.